It's the wrong color. You should have put a tri-power on it. The original didn't have an aluminum radiator. I would have done it differently. If you've ever restored a classic car, you've probably heard comments just like these. Some people have questioned the choices I made restoring my GTO, and a few have even criticized the quality of the work itself. Now, don't get me wrong. Most people in the classic car hobby are incredibly supportive. They'll share advice, they lend a hand when you ask them to, and they genuinely want to see you succeed. But every once in a while, you run into someone who seems determined to tell you everything that's wrong with your car, whether it's wrong or not. Why? Why do some people feel compelled to criticize someone else's restoration? Is it about originality? Is it jealousy, ego, or something else entirely? Let's talk about it. Those of us in the car community love these old cars because we're nostalgic at heart. We actually enjoy spending time in the garage and working with our hands. We like working late nights, we end up scraping our knuckles, and we teach ourselves to fabricate, to weld, and paint. All because we have a vision of what our old car can become. We imagine ourselves taking that first drive. We imagine pulling into our first car show. We imagine other enthusiasts walking over, sharing stories with us, and appreciating all the hard work that went into bringing another old classic back to life. After months, or sometimes years, we finally get to drive the car we've worked so hard to restore. And that's when the criticism starts. When I started restoring my GTO, I knew I'd make mistakes, and boy, did I make a lot of them. I expected parts delays, I expected busted knuckles, I expected unexpected expenses. I even expected to redo some of my own work. But what I didn't expect was that after all those years of work, a small number of people would focus less on what I had accomplished and more on what they thought I should have done differently. I've been to a lot of car shows over the years, but this year was my first showing my own car, a car that I restored myself. My experience thus far is that almost everyone you meet at a car show are very kind and generous, and also usually very complimentary about your car. There are a select few, however, who really seem to enjoy pointing out your car's flaws or critiquing your decisions on why you didn't do this or that. And I've observed that these folks seem to fit into one of 5 different categories. First, there's the originality expert. This guy notices details that most people would never notice. The radiator isn't original. The radiator hose and hose clamps are wrong. The alternator isn't factory. The color isn't correct for a 65 GTO. All comments I have received. The ironic thing is that these are accurate comments. In a Concours level restoration, those details really matter. But for a weekend warrior hobbyist and a pseudo hot rodder like myself, they're really not that important. My goal wasn't to build a technically accurate recreation of an original 1965 car. My goal was to build a nice looking, reliable car that I could drive regularly and enjoy without worrying if it got a little dirty or suffered the occasional stone chip in the paint. Then there's the performance crowd. I love these guys, and I love their commitment to building big horsepower. And especially in the muscle car community, everyone likes to talk performance. My GTO is a base model, meaning it's a 389 that was originally equipped with a Carter 4-barrel carburetor. And it originally produced 335 horsepower. In 1965, you could order an optional tri-power setup that had 3 Rochester 2-barrel carburetors, and that increased the engine's output to about 360 horsepower. But mine was not one of those cars. However, I have had several guys question me on why I didn't install a tri-power setup. They mostly like the aesthetic of the tri-power, I'm guessing, and they're right. It does look really cool. Some also questioned my stock exhaust manifolds and went to great lengths to tell me I should have installed headers. And after reading the engine data on my show board, I had one fellow tell me that I wasted my money during the engine rebuild because the engine didn't produce more horsepower. Even after I explained that we gained 22 horsepower over stock without getting radical with the engine build, that same guy scoffed at me and said, that engine should be making at least 400 horsepower instead of the 357 it currently makes. Oh well, what are you going to do? Then there's the investment expert. These folks see every classic car as a financial decision. They'll ask you, how much did you pay for the car? How much did you spend on the restoration? What's it worth today? Do you think you'll ever be able to get your money back when you sell it? Well, I certainly didn't restore this car because I thought it would make me rich. Quite the opposite, actually. I restored it because I wanted a 60s muscle car. I restored it because I thought it was cool and because I knew that once it was finished, I'd have a blast driving it. I think it's also important to mention what I'll call the helpful mentor. Some of the best people I've met through this hobby are the ones who quietly share what they've learned. They don't make you feel foolish. They don't try to prove they're the smartest guy in the room. They simply want to help you achieve your dream and build a better car. I am truly grateful for these people. Our conversation wouldn't be complete if we didn't talk about the self-appointed expert. Thankfully, they're a very small minority, but if you've been in this hobby long enough, you've probably met one. They're not trying to help, they're trying to win. They don't ask why you made a particular decision, they just tell you why it was wrong. They don't offer suggestions, they hand down verdicts. And they don't say, have you considered doing it this way? Instead, they say things like, you should have, or I'd never, and my favorite, I'll bet it's just a clone, despite the show board saying it's PHS documented. That isn't a conversation, it's a lecture. Some don't stop at criticizing the car. They criticize the craftsmanship. For example, I've heard things like, your body work could be better. A cut and buff would really help your paint job. I've noticed something about these conversations. The people who genuinely know the most usually ask questions first. But the people who are trying to impress everyone else usually start with criticism. There's a big difference between someone who wants to help you build a better car and someone who wants to remind you they think they could have built a better one. This video isn't really about originality or tri-powers, aluminum radiators, or color choices. It's about respect. People can disagree with your choices all day long, and that's perfectly fine. And most enthusiasts enjoy discussions on why or how you approached your restoration. But what people don't appreciate is being made to feel like they should be embarrassed by the choices they made or the work they put into their car. I'm guessing that the people who go out of their way to nitpick your car or your work have never done their own restoration themselves. Perhaps they have a nice car, but I'll bet they didn't build it themselves. So why do some people criticize someone else's restoration? Well, I don't think there's just one answer, but here's what I've learned. If you build your car to please everyone else, you'll never finish. And if you somehow did, someone would still come along and tell you it was wrong. So, listen to the people who genuinely want to help. Learn from those with experience. And don't let someone else's opinion rob you of the satisfaction of building your dream car. Don't be discouraged, because at the end of the day, you're the one who gets to open the garage door, you're the one who gets to turn the key, and you're the one that gets to drive it. This isn't their dream, it's yours. Enjoy your car. It's awesome just as it is. Thanks for watching.